Welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Amala. So in this lesson we are going to learn the food preservation techniques, different techniques like refrigeration, freezing, drying, salting and sugaring method. How we are performing, what is the main objective of this type of preservation, and these are the important thing we are going to learn in this session. Before entering the session, we have to know what is food preservation. Food preservation, it is a process of treating or storing food to prevent from its spoilage and extend the shelf life of food. And this preservation that is helps to maintain the food's nutritional value, taste of food, texture of food, and safety of food, and for consumption of human. And it can stop or arrest the growth of microbes plus enzymatic activity and chemical reactions are the main reason to spoil food spoilage. And many methods are following, but in this lesson we are going to learn only refrigeration, freezing, drying, salting and sugaring, how it is applicable to use to slow down or stop the spoilage from pathogenic microorganisms. And preserved food, it reduces um, food wastes and ensure availability during off season and improve the food security. And these are the main types: refrigeration, that means under refrigeration condition, and freezing, the preservation under frozen state, and drying, dehydration, that means removal of water, and salting, add salt as a food preservative and preserve food, and sugaring means add sugar as a food preservative. And these are the types we are going to learn in this class. And these are some example. Milk is preserved using preservation process like pasteurization. And this is a strawberry, it is a food. This fruit, it will spoil under room temperature, but when we can convert as a form of jam using sugar, the process sugaring, so it can extend the shelf life. And pickle, so using salt, the process salting, so same, the lime will be extend the shelf life for a year also. And vacuum package, aseptic package, and frozen state of foods. So many preservation methods we are following to preserve food from spoilage or microorganisms. And first one is refrigeration storage. Refrigeration storage is, it is the food that is stored at low temperature. The temperature ranges between 1 to 5 degrees Celsius. In this refrigeration storage, it stop or slow down the microbial growth and don't kill the microorganism. So it can reduce the enzymatic activity and spoilage rate of food. And it is best for high moisture and perishable foods only. And it helps delaying growth of spoilage bacteria, yeast and mold also. And it keeps food fresh for short term storage, and it should maintain its taste, texture, nutrition and freshness of food, and lowering the pathogenic multiplication and foodborne illness risk. And it require continuous electricity and refrigeration change. This is the disadvantages of refrigeration. And it is not removing all the microorganisms, especially psychotrophic microbes can still grow slowly. And the next method, freezing. The frozen state, the food can be stored at very low temperature. And freezing stored food at minus 18 degrees Celsius or lower than minus 18 degrees Celsius. In this temperature, totally it will stop or arrest the growth of microbes, and it doesn't kill the microorganism. When it is comes to the normal state, so as usual it become gets spoilage like other organisms, other foods. And so when under minus 18 degrees Celsius, the water activity will be very low. So when the water activity will be low, and it is leads to stop or delaying the spoilage of microorganism. And in this temperature slow down the enzymatic reaction drastically, and it is very good for long-term preservation foods. It's one of ancient food preservation method. Prehistoric people were find out using the meat that is preserved in ice caves. and it is highly suitable for meat, fish, poultry and vegetables also. One the when during the process of freezing, so it make ice crystals. The ice crystal, that is the inside food, the water molecules will be comes out and it form as a ice crystal, and it may damage the cell structure. And repeated freeze, when it is thawed, it changes the texture of food. And after, it can be stored at airtight packaging, that is prevent the freezer burn. Our next process, drying or dehydration. It is a one of important preservation method. Drying dehydration, that means removal of water. When the microorganism while growing, it need water molecules for their growth. There is absence of water means it cannot grow. The water activity, that is indicate um, bound water and free water within the food. Bound water means it will be tightly adhere in the food molecules, and free water it can easily evaporate. This free water that can utilized by microorganism and for multiplication. While bound water it cannot be utilized by microorganism, it will be stable in water. The total moisture content, that is the two free and bound water, so combined form called moisture content of food. This AW activity, it is a very important to growth of microorganisms. So drying removes moisture from food. It reduces the water activity to inhibit microorganism. It has stopped the microbial growth but doesn't kill all the microorganism. It mainly slow down the enzymatic reaction significantly, and it enables long-term preservation process, and mainly it helps retain the original color of food, original flavor of food and nutritional value of the raw food. And it is ideal for perishable foods. For example, many dried form of fruits we are using. Best example, dry grapes. It is otherwise called raisins. And when we store the normal grapes at room temperature, it can be spoiled within 1 or 2 days. When we preserve these same raisin as a form of dried, it can be stored as at a month, a month, 2 years also. And same the milk, so the raw milk will get spoiled at room temperature. Even it's a dried form of milk we can save for preserve for long year. And fish, normal fish and dry fish. Normal fish will get spoiled within a hours. When dry fish, we can store for long term. And chili also, chili, fresh chili will spoil by mold. When we dried form of chili we can use, so it can be stored for long period. And so after preservation process like drying, we can um, pack these dried fruits or dried foods that can be stored at airtight packaging, that will be prevent reabsorption of humidity and stop the growth of microorganisms. And sugaring is the next type of preservation. Sugaring, that is preserve the food using high concentration of sugar. When we adding sugar into the food, it may create osmotic pressure. In this osmotic pressure, it can make the plasmolysis process. That means the plasma of microorganisms that get some pores and it will destruct. So totally the microorganism will be destroyed while using the sugar as a preservative. So sugaring preservation using high sugar concentration, and it reduces the water activity by osmotic effect, and it is inhibiting the microbial growth, especially spoilage raising microorganisms. Microbes cannot multiply due to the lack of available water, because when we add the sugar, the plasma will get lysed and the cytoplasm that will be oozed out. So what total water activity will be collapsed. So finally the bacteria that came for death phase. Next, it is common for fruits and some peels of fruits. So the sugar acts as a natural preservative. There is no heat required to preserve the food, and it is also enhancing flavor and thickness of food. For example, strawberries. Strawberries can be, strawberry cannot stored at room temperature. The mold growth will be occur within 2 to 3 days. When we follow the strawberry as a jam, we can preserve for a long term as a form of jelly. And amla, it is a uh, normal, so we cannot store the same. The fungus will grow within 2 to 4 days. The same urapa, so that means a dried form of amla we can preserve for long term. Same like orange peel also get mold spoilage. When we follow the sugaring process, that means the peel will be removed and boiled with water and added sugar and make us a candied peel. So candied peel that will be safe for long term. So it need airtight storage to prevent the fermentation. It is a very good method we are following at home level.